What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Welcome back to Nightmare Talks. I'm Aaron.
I'm Chase.
And we got another episode for you. Today, well, we got a doozy for you. The Fourth Kind. We just got done watching this movie. I have seen it before. I think you were saying that you started it, but you didn't finish it, so...
I'd made it probably the first 15 minutes into this movie. The first go-around. Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect. Today was...
We're going to have a lot to say about this particular movie. And I feel like this is one of the movies that me and you might not be in agreement with. In the sense that I think maybe I took a different perspective from it than you did.
But so the thing is I understand the perspective at which you do like the movie, though. And I get the thought process behind why you find this movie interesting, in the sense that it makes you think in certain ways that not everybody would think. And I understand it from that standpoint.
Yeah.
But the overall entertainment value for me is not there.
Yeah, okay, I am in complete agreement with you with the sense that I can't really say it's an entertaining movie. As I've stated before in other
Not at all. Just for the record, not at all.
Yeah, but as I stated in other episodes, is I like psychological movies. I like movies where, as you're watching the movie, you're thinking, and you're just like, "Oh crap! Like, what if this was real? What if this really happened?
Right,
what if
100%.
this happened to me?"
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, is it a great movie? No, but I do appreciate it for what it is. They tried to make it as a documentary, hence having the actual footage on one side and the reenactment with Mila Djokovic on the other side, which I thought was a very interesting concept. I don't know if I've ever seen a movie with that before, like for most of the movie. Yeah. I did appreciate that.
Okay.
But it didn't really have that shock value per se, as, and we're going to go back to the Blair Witch, and love it or hate it, I appreciated it for what it was, but it was one of those movies where when the credits started rolling, I had the privilege of seeing it in the theater opening weekend, and let me tell you, when the credits started rolling on the Blair Witch Project, that theater was quiet. Not many people got up and walked out. It was just kind of like, everybody was just like, what did we just watch?
Yeah.
And that's why I say Blair Witch Project raised the bar.
Correct.
When it came to found footage and just that ending where you're just like, whoa.
What just happened?
Right. Now, this movie does not have that.
At all.
But to somebody, hear me out here, buddy.
I got you. I'm with you.
To somebody who may have been abducted or claims to be abducted, or somebody who has seen UFOs or has experienced something related to UFOs, I do actually know a couple people who swear on their life that they were abducted. Yeah. And I listened to them. One of them was a family member of mine, and I listened to his story numerous times. One of the things I always look for is consistency. Yep. Because when somebody's lying, they tend to exaggerate things, and things kind of differ each time they tell the story. And I think we're both in agreement of that. But with my family member, it was almost identical every single time, and he told me the same story at least 4 times. Yeah. So I tend to believe people like that. Yep. Okay, so a movie like this to them might be freaky as hell.
Could be. Okay. Yes, correct. Because it could strike a nerve.
As they're watching this movie, they could just be like, "Oh my God!" You know, a little bit of sweat beading from the forehead, hands getting a little sweaty.
Yep.
I've never been abducted. I have seen things that I can't really explain. I'm not going to say that they're UFOs, and I'm not going to say that they're not. So a movie like this, to me, is very intriguing. Yeah. I would have liked to have seen things done differently in the movie. Yep. Man, I really hated that the few freaky scenes that were in the movie were so fuzzy. Yeah. And I'm sure you're going to touch on that. Yeah. I would have liked to have seen that different.
100%. So I understand your standpoint. I get the realness in the sense of if somebody's been abducted or claims to have been abducted, where honestly a movie like this, yes, I could totally see how that strikes a nerve when you watch something where it rehashes maybe some of those feelings, or maybe some of the things in the movie, you know, are similar to your experience. Yeah, I 100% I could agree in that sense, where that's scary to those people. Mm-hmm. But to the other, 99.9% of us that have it, this doesn't, to me, it doesn't really, I don't think it's really horror or even really, to my understanding, not really scary. It's more like a point of view type movie, if anything, in my opinion. When things like this, and you can look it up. You can look up the story from Nomi, Alaska. You can read up on it, and you can find the story with it.
It is okay. No, not as a spoiler alert, but it is based on factual events.
Correct. No,
there are documented cases of, and it kind of goes over that at the end of the movie with the credits and stuff, where the FBI is involved, and they have made hundreds of trips to Nome, Alaska. Regarding missing persons. Now,
it said 2,000 within the film itself. It said 2,000 within, I forget how many years. It's all.
It's a pretty significant amount.
It's a lot, because in comparison, so they said Anchorage was another one they had visited, but it was only 200 something.
Yeah, Anchorage was
300. 300.
But 300. Anchorage was 76% larger than Nome, Alaska.
Correct.
Population-wise. So
you take into consideration your population to FBI visits and missing reports and so on. Now, it could range, right? So you got missing reports. That could be a number of things.
There's lots of bears in Alaska.
Correct. There's bears. There's tons of wilderness. There's
serial killers.
Okay. Yep.
In Alaska,
there, but yes,
absolutely.
You got hidden caves that you step wrong and you're gone, and finding you is little to impossible if nobody knows where the hell you went. So, that being said, this movie for me was underwhelming in a sense. It's hard for me to find a really good alien UFO abduction film.
Have you seen an alien abduction film that has kind of left you with impacted your perception on maybe that genre?
So this is going to sound dumb, and
nothing sounds dumb on this show.
People within this channel are going to laugh. So the movie, and I remember when I was young, I watched it. So Signs, Mel Gibson.
Loved it.
Like it's one of those movies where a movie that struck a nerve, and given the alien it showed within that footage.
Oh, in Brazil.
Where it's in Brazil, correct? Yeah, and they catch it as it crosses that pathway.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not. I feel like in this day and time, not impossible, but also it could be. I get it. It looked fake. Okay, cool, got it.
Yeah, but
tracking.
But you have to admit, I'm not. I don't know right off the top of my head what year Signs came out, but when that movie came out, I think you'd be hard pressed to find somebody that wasn't a little bit like, whoa, when they saw that scene. Okay, that scene stuck out big time in that movie. Yeah. Regardless of how fake it looked.
Oh, it was. I mean,
right.
It was pretty bad.
But the way they did it,
it made me think.
Was very tasteful.
So, in the sense, to answer the question you asked was, did it make me think or kind of catch me a little bit? Correct. Oh, 100%.
Right.
Because you look at the circumstance within Signs. Spoiler alert. You look at their circumstances where they live out in the middle of nothing. They have crops for miles.
Yep.
Literally the typical farm setup. Mm-hmm. And you're talking about things happening around your place that the crop circle is so on that you can't explain, and that there's not really a good answer for in the sense of how it was done, how it was bent over, and how there's no tire tracks leading up to that point. There's nothing to show that there was, entry into where they got to. Honestly, I can not relate, but like from that standpoint, I would be scared. Because how do you...
Well, you're kind of from the country.
How do you defend your house, your property in a circumstance like that?
Yeah, and if you haven't seen Signs, you should definitely watch Signs.
Great film.
And also on that note, if you haven't seen The Fourth Kind, check it out. Once again, as we discussed, I keep saying this when it comes to horror, and The Fourth Kind is actually in the horror category. If you were to look it up on Netflix, it's going to be considered horror.
Yeah. Because
of the sense that it's not going to make you laugh. It's not going to. It's not a love drama.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not a chick flick. So you should check it out. Once again, go into it with an open mind, and just
it's fair. It's It's fair to say you should watch it, yes.
It's kind of one of those movies where if you go your whole life without seeing it, not a big deal.
You didn't miss much.
You know, like with my kids, there are certain movies that I introduce them to.
Yeah.
Just like there's certain music groups that I feel like, regardless of how old or new they are, you kind of need to experience it. And
I agree.
You know,
I agree.
For example, like the Beatles.
Oh, yeah.
Love them or hate them, the Beatles, you know, are, I mean...
It's up there. You have... I agree. You at least have to introduce it. Whether you respect that genre of music, whether you respect, you know, what they did. Yeah, I agree. I think you have to at least make them aware of it.
Part of culture. Just having culture.
Good movie. I say good very loosely, but good movie. Shock and awe, super entertaining. Absolutely not.
If you had to rate it.
Interesting perspective, yes.
Go ahead and rate it. Scale 1 to 10.
God, dude,
Let's go ahead and rate it.
The best I can do is a 6. Literally, the best I can do is a 6.
I'm gonna be right there with you in how it's made. 6. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. A couple scenes in the movie.
There's some big actress in this movie too. So like,
well, Djokovic is.
So the other guy was
should say right here.
I think it's Will Patton.
Will Patton would be correct, sir.
So Will Patton plays the sheriff in this movie, and got a lot of respect. Got a lot of respect for Will Patton. I feel like any role he steps into, he's great. And then obviously Resident Evil, you can't ignore.
Yeah,
cannot ignore for sure.
This movie would have been a flop, I think, if you did not have at least a couple big names in there. If you just had some no-namers in here,
I don't know.
Oh, man.
Dude, but hold on. How can you say a movie changes from when it's just a dud to a flop regardless anyway? The movie is
I'm telling you.
Maybe dud sounds too mean, but it's a dud, man. This movie is a
It's
dud.
not a firework.
It definitely is not your headliner like, oh, we're showing The Fourth Kind, come see this.
It's a slow burn for sure. Once again, though, I mean, this is where these conversations come in, because 100%. We're going to have, we are not going to sit here. I mean, how boring would this show be if me and you both sat down every day and we're like, great movie, check it out, it's the best.
But I think that's what we do pretty well, though. We dissect movies even deeper.
Yes.
So, and that's, we dig deeper than just good movie, not good movie. What could be done better? You know, what would you have changed? What, you know, those kind of things. And I get the perspective of this movie. I get kind of what they were trying to push out, because they are trying to go off things that occurred. They're trying to go off things that have reportedly happened, and it's on record.
Yeah.
Cool. And they're trying to leave Hollywood out of it in a sense where they're not pushing that too much, where it's not too much special effects, you know, added scenes of things that just didn't happen.
Right. Yeah.
I respect it. I respect it from that standpoint.
Right.
But that also makes for that movie where you run the risk of having a dud. Because if people are not Alien enthusiasts, or they don't care, or, you know, they're just your everyday average Joe, like, this movie is boring.
Yeah.
Straight up boring, and there's no other word for it. But as somebody that's also interested, we get the perspective of where this movie comes from and the point it's trying to push across.
Where they were trying to go with it.
Did it work? I get the point. Did I enjoy the movie? Not really.
It is what it is.
Yeah, no, it is.
I am very interested in UFOs. I'm very interested.
Oh, 100%.
And even if you had to narrow it down even more than that, is I'm super intrigued by alien abductions, because, like I said, when you sit down and you talk to people who claim to be abducted, in their mind, there's no doubt.
No.
They're just like, I don't care if you believe me or not.
This happened.
Yes, this happened, and it, you know.
Yep.
So that intrigues me. It really does intrigue me, and because you know, a wider picture.
Yep.
What the heck are all these UFOs doing here?
Right.
I don't believe they're just driving around like this is the drag, you know, back in the day where, hey, let's drive down here, turn around, go back, turn around, go back.
Just
try to get somebody's phone number here.
Yeah.
These things are here for a reason, guys.
100%.
They're here for a reason, and if you don't believe that, like, nothing else really makes sense.
Yeah.
So, are people being abducted in Nome, Alaska, you know, aside from this movie?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Outside of the movie.
Very possible, dude.
100%.
Very possible.
It's very secluded, so to say it's not happening,
And especially the fact
Not
that
fair.
these people can't remember anything.
No. Can you imagine? So that's something I was going to bring up. So that was something, the point I did like, and also an interesting concept is, imagine having something terrible, possibly very,
Traumatizing.
life-altering, traumatizing event happen to you, but you get wiped clean and don't remember a single thing that happened, and you can't recall any of it. Like, imagine having things happen to you, but you don't remember it happened.
And it makes you wonder if, okay, do these aliens have some sort of technology where they wipe those memories from you?
Yeah.
Or when you talk to some people who had traumatic events in their life, they tend to shut that out.
Yeah.
And they try to, like a filing cabinet, they try to sort it away and never go back to it. And if you ask them it happened, they'll deny it because they just don't want to relive that memory. Fire in the Sky. I mean, they kind of go a little bit more into the actual on the spaceship, the experiments that are done on Walton. I know his name is Walton.
Dude, it's been
Travis
a long time
Walton.
since I've watched this.
Travis Walton.
Yeah.
And okay, once again, spoiler alert: if you haven't seen Fire in the Sky, okay,
Dude,
if you have only 2 hours to watch a alien abduction movie, do not watch The Fourth Kind.
100% down.
Watch Fire in the Sky. Fire in the Sky is an older movie. It's not going to have those over-the-top graphics. It's not going to have... but for just the sense of just creepy as hell, Fire in the Sky does it for me.
Yep.
Because the fact that it was based on actual true events. And if you look it up, there is in Snowflake, Arizona. Snowflake, Arizona. That is the name of the town. Sorry, I kind of brain farted for a second. Snowflake, Arizona. There is an actual police report that Travis Walton did disappear for X number of days. Every single person that was in that logging party took a lie detector test and passed, with the exception of one guy. But it was because I believe he had some sort of criminal record and he was just nervous to be around law enforcement.
Gotcha.
So, and I know people that are in law enforcement that actually looked that up, and it is actual. It happened. Great movie. Check that out. Let us know what you think in the comments. If you want to watch The Fourth Kind. I mean, if you're like me and you're open-minded when it comes to horror movies, let me tell you, man, I have seen some stupid movies.
Oh, dude, I have too.
And I've seen some movies. I watched a movie the other night that I had never heard of. Just kind of came across it by accident on Tubi, and we can talk about it later, but I thoroughly enjoyed that movie, and I'm just like, how have I not heard about this movie? How did this movie not... Why is nobody talking about this? I thought it was actually very, very intriguing with the story. It was called The Dark. More of a zombie type movie, but it was very well done.
Yeah.
Considering that it was... never heard of it.
Right. Yep.
And I'm all about that, man. I love sleeper movies that aren't mainstream.
Yeah.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. I will watch anything.
Yeah.
Especially if it's horror related.
100%.
And I believe that you're starting to get there. I do notice that as I get older, that I appreciate things. I don't need the graphics. I don't need the, the special effects and stuff. What I need is that feeling, that satisfaction of, man, that's creepy, or that's could really happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. No, I agree. And it has to have that sense of realness. It has to... a little more impatient with some movies, but it's got to captivate me to where I can relate it to, for sure, real life.
You'll come around. Because like I said, when I was younger, and I mean, we're not that much more in age. I got like 12 years on you. But when I was younger, I was all about the movies where I was like, oh man, that was awesome, dude. Oh crap, whoa. Like we were talking about that shock value and stuff, like when Saw came out, and it was like, but once again, as I got older, and I'm like, okay, well, I've seen all those movies. We've been there, we've done that. Let's take a look at the stuff that we haven't been to, the stuff we haven't seen. Let me go over here and see what other people are saying about these low budget horror movies. And man, it opened up a whole nother dimension of the horror genre.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have this appreciation for effort.
Yep.
Effort.
Yep. You're
Okay.
right.
And once again, as you experience and experiment more with foreign movies, you're really, really going to understand what I'm talking about.
Nope. I'm tracking what you're saying.
Because man, once again, the horror genre is a vast ocean of possibilities, and good or bad.
Yep. I think it just goes. Okay, so like I was saying, if there's movies you watch, if there's there's something you watch maybe during the week, new movies in theaters even, please, like, we will take the time to watch it. If you bring it up and you comment on it, we're gonna watch it. Like, at the end of the day, if you say it's good, we will try to take the time to watch every movie. We may not get to all of them, and whether we review it or not, I think Aaron and I will kind of decide. If not, we'll tangent off of it, like, because we'll have a spotlight movie, and just because it's not the spotlight movie doesn't mean we're not getting to it, and we won't talk about it.
How many movies did we just touch on?
At least 5.
At least.
Probably 5.
So, and probably we have five more before.
At least. Honestly, we go very
we're all over the
sporadic.
place, man.
Whether it's, like I said, you know our aspect of where we live. We have certain things we talk about.
I think we're going to compare this show to the Asian female driver on Family Guy, where she's in the fast lane and she just decides she wants to be over here, and that's her exit. Good luck, everybody.
Yep.
Boom, 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 boom. That's our conversations, bro. Like, we're all over the place. That's for sure. But there's going to be people out there that appreciate that, and we appreciate you.
We need the stories, though, especially from viewers. I think that's one thing. Doing this channel, doing the social media. If there's anything to take away from it, I mean, we have our experiences, we have our conversations, our opinions. The next best thing we can get is having viewers, followers, talk about their experiences, their situations, their opinions on certain, whether it's films, whatever, because maybe it's something we didn't consider, we didn't think about. Because there may be somebody out there that loves this movie and this is their #1 film. Highly doubtful, but if you absolutely love this film, please let us know what you take away from it that maybe him and I didn't see. Given he likes this movie more than I do, maybe you
a little more. I don't want to say likes. I think I appreciate it a little bit more. Not likes, because it's not a great movie. Or maybe not.
I don't know. I think you're on the fence, dude. I don't know. You don't sound like you like it.
It's definitely a barbed wire fence, and it's poking me in the butt, and I'm just kind of like,
because I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, but please share. Give us things to read. Give us things to go on, because if it's good enough, we're gonna talk about it, because
we need you guys.
If we put ourselves in your shoes, especially if it's creepy enough. That's what's going to make this great. It's what's going to make it great for us. It's what makes it better for every other fan. Not fan, follower, whatever. And if you just don't care to hear guys talk about whatever crazy stuff's going on in the world, then
we don't expect this to be for everybody. I will say, though, that a lot of times when I'm kind of sitting around and I don't really have anything planned, and there's not a certain movie that I'm wanting to watch, I will jump online and I will watch different videos of different people reviewing movies and talking about, and I get a lot of my content from that. Somebody will be like, you know what? This movie was pretty good. If you guys haven't seen or heard of it, check it out. And I'll be like, okay, you know what, dude? I'll check it out. And I'll watch it. And then sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, there's an hour and 45 minutes of my life I'm never going to get back. And there's been a lot of times where I'm just like, dude, I never would have freaking known about that movie had I not watched that clip of somebody telling me about that film. And that is what we're trying to do. We're trying to do that. But once again, this show is not just about movies. We talk about all kinds of stuff, and I thought this was appropriate.
But we appreciate movies.
We do. We love movies. We love movies in general, but we're not going to love every movie.
We're not going to talk about comedies in here, just for the record, and we're not talking about chick flicks or
unless it's Dale and Tucker versus Evil.
That's not. Nope.
And no, that's a horror comedy, buddy.
but it's
horror
too
comedy.
much comedy.
love
There's
it.
no
Love it,
aspect
love
of
it,
that
love it.
where we're talking about the horror aspect of things.
Sit down, grab
that is a very
beer.
interesting mix for sure on that one. But
Yes.
you know,
But I thought this was a good choice because in an earlier episode, we were discussing, once again, and we're going to go back to it because it is a big deal right now, is all the UFOs that are being filmed and are being acknowledged by the government now.
100%.
I cannot believe that is not a bigger deal than it is.
Dude,
now, I get it. There's religious people that no matter what kind of evidence surfaces, no matter what kind of experiences they have, they will deny it. Deny it, and that's fine. That's your prerogative. You're entitled
that's your
to
right.
that.
That's your right. You
But
have the right to,
for those of us that don't live in a bubble, and can see what's going on over here and can see what's going on over here instead of just constantly be focused on what's going on here, man, it's terrifying to me.
Or just thinking outside the realm of, honestly, like possibilities, or just thinking outside the box, really, because it's easy to get wrapped up in today with, life is just here on this earth. There's nothing else around the world. No such thing as Bigfoot. There's no aliens. It's just us in this little circular planet, and that's all we got.
Yeah, it's pretty selfish.
You're crazy. You're really. To me, it's crazy because I look at the bigger picture. So to realize how big space is and how far things go, there's no way you're going to convince me that we're the only living creatures within our universe, or universes for that matter.
Anybody that's looked up in the sky, what is all that?
Exactly.
What is all that? That's
right.
not a painting.
Right.
Okay, that goes somewhere.
It's not a projection. They don't just flip that on when it gets dark.
And once again, I think it's just so selfish of humankind to just believe that, okay, we're it. Well, we're it. All that other stuff is just for decoration.
And so I think it's something where people get wrapped up in day-to-day life. It's very easy to do. It's not hard. Trust me, I'm guilty of it just like everybody else. It's very easy to get stuck in the Monday through Friday. I get up, I go to work, I come home, I have dinner, visit with the family, watch some TV, go to bed. And I repeat that Monday through Friday. Very easy thing to do.
Do you take showers? Or?
No, I don't do that.
Showers
I don't
are overrated. They're overrated.
But
I see what you're saying.
You do the same routine every day. It's hard to make people think what's outside of that, what's maybe beyond this planet, because not everybody takes that time. Nobody takes that time to really think about those things. What's outside of my bubble of what I see? Just because you don't see it,
I think it's a comfort zone thing too.
it is.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. So comfort zone, or just not really. I don't want to say ignorance, but essentially it is though. It's ignorance because you don't know. You haven't educated, and you refuse to go look into it. You refuse to.
I'm with you, dude.
Explore these said things.
Well said.
I will never ever. So I try to live by this. I try never to say there's no way that's real. I try to be open-minded in the sense of maybe. I will throw a maybe at it because who am I to say it's not possible?
And I believe that's where our compatibility comes in, is because I am the exact same way. I'm not going to just, if somebody tells me they saw a giant frog, hopping across their front yard, I'm not going to be like, dude, that's impossible. That's impossible.
Yeah.
I wasn't there, dude. I wasn't there.
Nope.
Maybe there is a giant frog on their property. And I think that's where our compatibility,
right.
and I think that is why I'm hoping that this channel is interesting.
There has to be more than just us. There has to be. There has to be other people.
Because I don't want to sit here and argue.
Talk about this, that literally they think the same way.
Right.
Because given I could be completely wrong. Let's go ahead and say I could be wrong, right? Could be. I literally could be crazy, and all that really exists and all that really matters is my Monday through Friday, whatever, and that's it. That could be real. But I don't believe
that's boring
for myself, and exactly. So I like to live an exciting life. Possibilities are endless. Let's be honest.
Right.
There's crazy stuff that happens in the world. possibilities are endless.
Endless.
Why can we not
At least entertain
the fact
There you go.
that
Entertain it.
maybe these things are real. Maybe I need to get outside my bubble. Maybe I need to see what's on the outside.
And for those of you that refuse to do that, I'm sorry. You know, it's really unfortunate that you are not willing or capable of doing that.
I have a side note. Tangent. Ready? Here we go. We're going to go down the rabbit hole.
Lay it on me, buddy.
Not a scary movie. It's just a comedy, actually. So I hate that I even said we won't do comedies, because here I go.
Yes, man. We were all over the place.
Yes, man. Jim Carrey. So hold on.
Okay.
Let me shout out Jim Carrey.
Okay. Shout out Jim Carrey. All right.
So.
Alrighty then.
Spot on.
Was that pretty good?
It was great. It was actually amazing. We're going to keep it. So I think that's the aspect of what I'm saying. I'm not saying... So the concept behind that movie, saying yes to things, to be more open-minded to things, maybe not be just so no, no, no. I like the idea that pushes across. Now, saying yes to everything, that's crazy, okay? Like, legit, there's some things you should not say yes to.
A lot of things that you shouldn't say yes to.
But saying no throughout life, saying no to experiences, saying no to just ideas that maybe aren't your own, not fair. You didn't give it a chance. You didn't look into it. Who are you to say it's not?
Right.
That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying that's my takeaway from that movie is it made me kind of think like, hey, you know, it's kind of right. Like, I shouldn't be so quick to just be like, no.
And to touch on that, something that drives me insane about my wife is when we go to restaurants.
We're cutting this out.
We're cutting this out.
Just stop. Just stop. Just don't roll.
Camera cut off. No, but when we go out to eat at different restaurants and I order something, I'll be like, oh my gosh, this is really good, babe. You should try this. No, I don't want it. Okay, well, how do you know you not like it? Like, how do you know that you're not going to like this particular item that I ordered that you didn't order? And she will not eat it. She won't even take a small bite. She won't even lick the spoon.
So we're the opposite. So your wife won't try your food. I won't try my wife's food. So, and I don't. So here's the thing.
Yes, please explain that to me.
Here's where I ordered what I wanted because that's what I wanted.
Well, you're okay.
Hold on. So let me get here. So I ordered what I wanted because that's what I wanted.
Okay.
She ordered something she wanted, and it's not really. I didn't really want that.
Right.
And if I wanted that, I would have ordered maybe the same thing.
But what if it was something? But what if it was something that? And you know what? This show is not about arguing, because if people wanted to listen to two people arguing, they would just go home to their spouses probably.
Or his wife would be on the show and not me.
True. I probably wouldn't be on the show.
No. You have to be
like, oh, good Lord. But what I'm saying is, but what if it was something that you've never had before? And it looked kind of good. You're looking at her plate and like, what is that, babe? And she's like, oh, it's
That's different. I'm willing to try. That's what I'm referring to. That's different.
That's what I'm referring to.
I can do that.
It's touching on what you were saying in the sense that they just refuse to try something that they've never tried before.
I got you. Now I'm trying. I'm on board.
I'm just like, babe, just try it. What if you really like it? That way next time we come here, you might want to order that. Maybe it's just like, you know what? Remember that... Man, I can't even think of anything. Shepherd's pie. Remember that shepherd's pie that you ordered that one time and I tried it? I'm actually kind of craving that. Have you ever had shepherd's pie?
Yeah, man.
Fan?
Dude, it's.
I've had good and bad.
I've had So that's the route.
Just like movies, we've had good and bad.
We definitely had good and bad with that one. That's rough.
This episode's all over the place, bro.
Honestly, I feel like it's going good places though. I feel like
we're going places.
We're going places. Honestly, if we haven't sparked your interest somewhat, or you're not. I mean, maybe we're making people think though, because to me, this show makes me think.
I think people appreciate
these conversations are good to be said out loud, because not everybody thinks outside the box, dude, and it's really a shame. It really is. I think it's a crime to yourself, because you owe yourself to think outside the box. I'm not saying you have to just think outside the box and go with it. I'm just saying.
You know what? I just had a thought.
Think about it.
Okay, go with me here. I just had a thought. Maybe our biggest fans. There we go with fans again. Maybe our biggest followers will be people who are like, they live out in the middle of nowhere. It's 10 miles to the next neighbor's house, and they just don't have any friends. They live alone, and they're just bored and they want to listen to, maybe they feel like as we're talking to them too. I need to look at the camera more often because I notice you look at the camera more.
I try to look at the camera because I'm trying to talk to my followers. I talk to you all the time.
Hey guys. All right.
But I try to make sure when I'm conversating, like,
yeah.
I every now and then, you know, like, it'd be rude if I just sat here and did this the whole time and never even acknowledge you exist, because to me that's
I'd be
wrong.
like, dude, is there something in my...
Like, damn, dude, like, do I smell?
So anyways, but I mean, I really do believe with all my heart that there are going to be people out there, it might not be very many, but there will be people out there that appreciate this show for what it is. It is about Aaron and Chase sitting down, rambling on, talking about whatever. Whatever. And
this has nothing to do with us. At the end of the day, everything...
It's the experience.
Within this show has nothing to do with Aaron or myself, and I think he would agree. I think what it comes down to is just we have ideas, we have, you know, these ambitions, we have these things we're passionate about that we talk about even in our free time. This is not something that we would just conversate on here and we never talk about it outside of this. No, that's the first thing.
When that camera's not on, we're doing the same thing.
Literally, this camera could go off right now and we're still having the same conversation.
And our wives hate it.
Yes, they literally drowned us out and have nothing to do with us. But
except
we have, and we're just as passionate off camera about this as we are on camera. There's no difference. There's nothing, there's no different aspects. There's no different points of view. We feel exactly the way we talk about.
I just heard a giggle from outside the door, so I think they're actually listening to us.
Nerds.
It's okay. Haters gonna hate.
Haters always hate.
Haters gonna hate.
Always hating.
But yeah, I mean, dude, I enjoy sitting down, having conversations. And man, you know, let's go back to certain types of people who just... You feel like you have to be somebody that you're not just to be able to hold a conversation with them. And dude, who is going to enjoy that? Like, when you're around somebody who doesn't curse, and then you're just like, man, I curse. I'm not a sailor, but I could be. And you're just like, oh God, you know, I really want to say the D word. Or
dude, honestly, I behave better when this camera's on than I ever have in my life. I am literally, I feel like
I'm gonna keep it real.
I've said some words today,
sideways like
but
this.
typically I do not, I'm so good when a camera's on. For some reason, I try to stir away from not saying those things. I don't know why. Anyway, I should keep a camera on more often because I'm better behaved.
I think the more episodes we go, the more...
It'll probably get worse. If the movie's terrible,
out the window,
or if I love it and I'm very passionate about the movie we watched, I'll probably...
You were super passionate about this one today. You were like...
I was.
You looked at me that when those credits were rolling.
I did.
We were sitting on the couch, and this is Chase. He said, I'm going to rip this movie apart.
And I said, it's fair.
Let's talk about it.
Yes.
Hold on, let's get the camera on. Let's talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
Because...
We literally said nothing to each other. We watched the movie.
We tried.
We initially went to like, oh, we're going to talk. And then literally I go, you know what? Let's turn the camera on. Let's put this together and let's talk about it.
And that's the experience. The experience of we just watched a movie.
Yep.
Let's talk about it. And let's see.
Guys, it's just... if I had to recommend or not recommend, I don't. But that being said, watch the movie and base your opinion off that, because
people like it.
If you're a UFO or you're an abduction enthusiast, where you know that thing kind of gets a hold of you, that you know, not from an abduction standpoint, but bad choice of words. Anyway, maybe it just grabs your attention though. Definitely give it a watch.
There's a couple scenes in there that might be worth, you know, even if you overall don't enjoy the movie, there might be a couple scenes in there that people are like, man, that's pretty creepy, or that was kind of cool.
Dude, I feel like the whole thing was a dream.
It damn well could be. Damn well could be.
Because, anyway, no spoiler alerts. That's all I'll say. Anyway, but yeah, it's not the best movie we've done so far. And I think the best is yet to come. I have movies I'm interested to review coming up.
Oh yeah,
in future episodes. I definitely have some ones that I think, whether it's classic or some of just the mainstream ones that you hear about, I think they're worth digging into, dissecting, and really talking about certain scenes. Because definitely some of the mainstream movies, I definitely like. Hey. There are scenes that they gripped me and got a hold of me, and I'm like, man, that would scare.
Yeah. House of a Thousand Corpses, bro. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Love
That's just a different way. That's a different way of thinking. You know, another one. So it was on Netflix. Shout out Netflix. As above, so below.
Yeah, the one in Paris,
Love
the catacombs.
Love that movie.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I did enjoy it. I did it
right now.
I did enjoy it.
Okay.
It took me years and years and years before I finally sat down and watched it.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, every time that I'd be scrolling through, like you said, Netflix or if it was on TV, I was just kind of like, I felt like I had to be in the mood. Because number one...
This is interesting. This is going to get good. Go ahead.
Well, number one, it was just like, okay, so we got a bunch of people wandering around the catacombs of Paris. And I've seen YouTube videos of people going down in there. And I guess my thing was, like, they do guided tours down there.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
But with that being said, once I actually sat down and watched it, I was like, this is actually pretty good. This is a pretty good movie.
It's great. I love it.
But I do believe that, spoiler alert, that when you're underground for that long and there's a shortage of oxygen per se,
Correct.
You're in complete darkness.
Yes.
Maybe you're getting a little bit claustrophobic.
But a camera.
You're getting lost. You're going to react differently than somebody that's strolling through the park with the sun, sun in the sky and birds chirping.
Yeah.
Kids kicking a soccer ball around. So I appreciated it for what they were trying to do. There was a couple points where I was just getting really frustrated with the people in it, and I was like, okay, you're in a tunnel, dude. Turn around and go back the way you just...